Hey, it's me, Brick Headstrong, and welcome to Reppin Fitness. On this repisode, I talk with Taylor Temple, owner of Wellness by Temple. She's a holistic movement and nutrition coach. If you want to support the podcast, hit that subscribe button. And also, head over to brickheadstrong.com and get yourself some merch that you can rep at the gym. That's brickheadstrong.com. That's my name. Anyways, let's get to the repisode. Welcome to Reppin Fitness. My name is Brick Headstrong. It's very nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me on there, Brick.
Like I said, this is Reppin Fitness, and I like to have fitness coaches and pros like yourself on the show to tell me what you do to help clients with their fitness journey. But before we get to that, tell me, what got you into fitness? What was your fitness journey like?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So, hey everyone, my name is Taylor Temple. I am the owner of Mind and Body by Temple. So what that is, it is more of a holistic health and wellness coaching company. So
Wow.
I actually come from a competitive sports background.
What sports?
I did 15. Sorry?
I said, what sports?
Yeah. So I did 12 and a half years of soccer, 7.5 years of dance, played lacrosse, club rugby, basketball, volleyball for 8.5 years.
Oh,
There, I transitioned from club sports into the bodybuilding world. Had my first competition back in 2015 in a figure division. Won that show, took a few years off, came back in 2017, competed at a regional level, won that show, did provincials, came in third place. Actually had the opportunity, went down to the States, competed at the Arnold Classic.
oh, that's awesome.
That was an amazing experience.
You were at Arnold Sports Festival. You went to Arnold's. What was Arnold like?
You know, I got a picture with him, but I didn't get to meet him. So
Get out. How'd that
it
happen?
was incredible. You know,
How did you
out of
take a picture, but you didn't meet him?
there was a little bit of a distance between us. Like he was standing right and I was standing here and I took a selfie and we're both smiling. But you want to know what? Out of all my achievements, that is my favorite because not
yeah.
many people can. They have a photo with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I am jealous. That's great.
Yeah.
I've been trying to train to get to Mr. Olympia because, you know, Arnold's my idol. Absolutely my idol. But I'm trying to get Andrew to give me the centerfold and a muscle and fitness mag. He's playing hard to get. Anyways.
And then in 2019 was my last bodybuilding competition. So I did the Alberta Open here in Alberta, Canada, and won first in my class and then overall for the division in Alberta.
Wow. So that's a lot of trophies.
It is.
Oh, there they are. I see them. I see them there. Wow. How about that? So
Yeah.
then what? When did you start coaching people?
Yeah. So background as far as like business goes. Started as a personal trainer in 2015, working for a corporate gym. From there, kind of worked my way up the corporate ladder, moved into corporate management, was managing a few gyms with a few teams of personal trainers. And then in 2020, COVID hit, and it was kind of a curse and a blessing for myself. I launched Mind and Body by Temple because the gym shut down. I no longer team of personal trainers, right?
So did you do a lot of online?
I did. So when the gyms closed down, the
Right.
beautiful thing is that I was very interactive and pivoted online with Mind and Body by Temple and haven't looked back.
So if somebody were to want to work with you, do you do that through your website?
Yeah, absolutely. So I take on clients through my website, LinkedIn, and also Instagram.
That's very cool. So you said it was all online. Now, do you do video conferences or something like that? How does it work?
Yeah. So at peak of COVID, it was mostly online. And then now I do have another aspect that is in person with my business as well.
Oh, so that's very cool. And is there a specific type of client that you like to work with?
Ooh, so I specialize in pain-free movement. So it's not physio. I don't deal with injuries, but I deal with tissues reaching their biological limit and people being in pain and stiffness. So that's a huge one, very beneficial when you can work with a client and they can move pain free. And then women on their weight loss journey, specifically with their hormones, that is always super satisfying and very fulfilling.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for helping with all you do. And before I move on, I have a question. Now, you said you played a lot of sports. Now, did you have a favorite?
Ooh, volleyball was probably my favorite.
Volleyball? Now, what were the exercises like when you were there doing volleyball?
Yeah, so it's kind of different from what I do now. So I'm more strength training, powerlifting focused now. But most of it was agility. So you're looking at single leg, single arm movements, fast pace, more speed focused. Now I'm kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum and I do more heavy lifting, less
Oh,
volume.
nice. I'm a huge fan of reps, but I also love lifting heavy. So when you're at the gym, and obviously this show, it's called Reppin Fitness, so we got to talk about reps. What rep ranges are you in when you're at the gym?
Well, currently it's a little different. So I'm doing some barbell training and I'm usually doing
Oh,
5 sets of like 3 of 4 right now. I'm usually going at like an 80%.
oh, that's great.
I'm actually training for my second ultra marathon. It's,
Whoa!
yeah.
Can you, let's come back to that. I want to ask how that works, but yeah, how many reps?
Yeah. So reps right now, we're going about 4 to 6.
Oh, 4 to 6. That's a great range. You're going to get really strong. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. At the same time.
Hey.
At the same time. That's what? Probably like 7 times we did that already. For
Yeah, I think so.
for the people at home watching, me and Taylor had a little conversation beforehand about how we both like the word absolutely. So if you're watching at home, count along with us. We might accidentally say it again. You know, I have no idea how many times we said absolutely. Do you? Leave a comment with your absolutely count at the end of this episode. Do you want to get back to the episode? Absolutely. That counts too. Let's do this. Aside from that, I had told Taylor I watched the podcast Fitness for Life by Jackson, and he had you on as a guest, and you guys spent some time talking about calories versus macros. Now, I wanted to piggyback off of that conversation, how Brick got into working out. What do you think the most common challenges are people encounter when they're first getting into a new habit? Like, for example, Brick loves snacks. I eat snacks almost every night. Is that a problem?
So I think that is a huge issue. It is very common for people who are starting out on their wellness journey.
Right.
So my approach as a coach is, okay, you acknowledge, yes, you're snacking in the evening, but we have to reverse engineer this. It's like, why is that happening in the evening?
On
So
board.
9 times out of 10, right? It's like, how much food do you consume throughout the day?
Me?
Yeah, you specifically, Brick. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I typically have 3, 4 meals and a protein shake. Sometimes a 5th meal. And then,
Okay.
yeah, I still end up with a snack. They're good.
So, well, that's great. But so now, if that's the case, if I'm dealing with a client and they're eating enough food throughout the day and they're still binging in the evenings, usually try to find the underlying reason. Is it stress related or is it to occupy the mind? So if it is stress related, we'll take a step back and we'll do some more stress release movements or methods into their routine, like yoga, meditation, or even going outside for some physical fitness and getting a walk in. If it's more so to kind of occupy their mind, I always say never eliminate, never go 0 to 100, go 0 to 10, 10 to 20. So finding a healthier alternative to replace your current snack with. So then that way you're kind of in a caloric deficit, but you don't eliminate the habit altogether.
That's a great point. I think a lot of people, they want a 30-day fix, and that includes everything. They think all of a sudden my life's going to be totally different in 30 days, And
Hmm.
then I could just go back to doing what I was doing before. It don't work like that. Absolutely doesn't work like that. And
Well, it's like, how many years did it take for you to build those habits?
right,
Nothing's going to happen, right? There's no magic in 30 days.
right. Like you said, you've been competing for how long? How many years did you do that?
So that was for 5.5 years.
5.5 years, and then you
Yeah.
had a litany of different things, different sports you were involved in growing up, all the way up through high school, I'm assuming. So, why do you think the first month is particularly difficult for people starting a new habit?
Yeah. So the first month, I think the biggest thing also depends on the personality type. So we're going to have some clients that come in and doing the bare minimum, just showing up is going to be the biggest focus that I work on with them. And then we're going to have some clients that are going to want to go 0 to 100 because they're an all or nothing kind of client.
Right.
And those are the ones that we actually have to rein in a little bit
I was
because
going
they
to
want to
ask.
do.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you do that? How do you get them to go from 1 to 100 to maybe like you said, 1 to 10 or 0 to 10?
It's like the biggest thing is changing their perspective and their mindset behind it. It's like, how many times have you gone 0 to 100 and have those habits been sustainable? And
Right.
9 times 10, they're restarting their fitness journey 4 or 5 times at this point.
Yep. It's like a video game. They just keep losing that life, then they have to reset. You know, I don't want to lose those points. I want to keep going. You know.
Mhm. So then that's when we would introduce 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and like sustainable habits over a period of time, just to make it more sustainable.
Do you have any examples of people you've worked with that you had to go through that with?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Oh,
So I've got, let's say, a mom of three, and she is a very all or nothing kind of woman. Clearly, her life is fast paced. There is no debating that for a second, right? And so when she starts something, she wants to go 100% all into it. But now it's more so being realistic and kind of reining her back in. So I always say we're going to do this in size pieces instead of having the whole meal at once. So
I
from
like that.
there, we just right. So we do small, sustainable goals. So the first week is going to be you just need to show up, and you need to show
Yeah.
up 10 minutes early to every session. Okay. The second week, we're going to focus on a few lifestyle habits. We're going to talk about sleep, and we're going to talk about water intake. Rock those out of the park for the next 2 weeks. And then from there, we'll start dabbling and going a little bit deeper into your nutrition.
Now, do you find that a lot of your clients are struggling with maybe the environments that they're putting themselves in? You know, because if you don't have a supportive environment, right? If you're just around people who drink all the time or eat out all the time, you know, that's going to affect your own goals. So, what's a conversation like when you're first starting out with a client? Are these things you're looking for? Are these things you're looking to figure out, you know, with them in terms of what might be holding them back from the things that they want to accomplish?
Absolutely. So I'd say it's very circumstantial. If I am working with my women, they usually have small children. They're kind of out of that phase. But with some people, they are still surrounding themselves with people that are going out drinking. And the reality is, you got to give them tough love. It's like,
Okay.
if you want to achieve this, you're going to have to sacrifice some things, but it will be for the greater good, for your longevity, and for how you feel.
That's great. What do you think are some small, actionable steps people could take to build that momentum and their confidence when they're going to start doing a fitness journey like this?
You honestly, like the biggest thing there is finding a coach. If I'm being completely honest, if you're in a fitness journey, you're not 100% sure where to start because there's so much information out there right now. Find someone who has achieved what you want to achieve and who is credible and obviously who you enjoy their company. And that will be honestly the key to be successful on your journey.
That's a great tip. You know, because I was thinking about snacks and how, you know, it's unrelatable for some of my friends. You know, I can't go and text them and say, man, I really just need to talk to somebody instead of eating this protein bar or whatever I'm eating. You know, it would just be helpful, I think, a little bit to have a coach on your side and just keeping you on track, because the next day I probably would have texted you and told you, guess what? I didn't eat that. And I did it because of you, but I did it for me. And that's ultimately what we're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. And then your coach, hopefully, if you align with them, they're going to cheer you on. Like, heck yeah, you did. And
Yeah.
that's going to want you to keep making those good decisions.
How do you keep in touch with your clients? Do you just use Instagram? Do they text? How does this work?
Yeah. So with my clients, I have an app that I use. Mine
What
is
app?
Body by Temple.
Oh,
It's Body by Temple, but I actually lease it through Trainerize.
oh,
And
nice.
so that's two-way communication system. And obviously they have my cell phone number too. I'm usually pretty open to both.
Nice. So you mentioned the ultra marathon.
Yeah.
I have never heard of it. Tell me about that. What's all involved?
Okay, so I got into like extreme mountain hiking.
Oh,
I
nice.
got divorced 5 years ago, and then at that time started hanging out with more advanced hikers. So taking on extreme peaks. Like you're out there for 14 hours a day, probably the only group to actually conquer it within a 6-month period. It's quite advanced.
Where is that?
Um, yeah, so Banff National Park, Jasper National Park, or
Oh,
even Kananaskis area. So all right in Alberta.
wow. So in Canada, do you got to worry about
Yeah.
moose?
Moose is the least of your concern. It's more
Oh,
so the
thank goodness.
bears. Bears,
Bears!
yeah.
Uh-oh. That's not good. Have you seen a bear when you were out there doing that?
From a distance, thank goodness,
Oh,
but
okay,
never up
okay.
close.
So
Yeah.
back to the ultra marathon. How does it work?
Yeah.
How long is it? And do you
Abs-
have to swim or
No,
bike, or
no.
is it just running? What do you do?
So back to that, I got into extreme mountain hiking, and then I love it doing that as a hobby. Last year, I did my first competition. So ultra marathon is a marathon through the mountains,
Whoa.
um, right? So it's 42.5 kilometers with like last year's was 42.5 kilometers with a 1,400 meter elevation. So you're going up a mountain, racing it.
Ah. How'd you do?
My partner and we were on track to come in at 4.5 hours. She injured
Ah.
herself like 5 kilometers. So we ended up coming in at 5 hours, which is still good, which is still really good.
Is she okay?
She's okay. It took a few weeks, but now she's okay.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she twisted her knee just on the last.
Oh,
Got exhausted, put her foot down the wrong way. Yeah, had to
brutal.
carry her out.
Brutal.
Yeah.
What's
Mhm.
training like for you coming into that?
Yeah, so now third week of August is my next one, and this one's actually out in Kimberley, British Columbia. And so this one I'm doing 36 kilometers, and I believe it's a 1,500 meter elevation.
Oh,
And so what I'm doing right now, I'm doing 4 heavy resistance days. So
nice.
2 are going to be compound focused. The other 2 are going to be more movement, mobility focused. And then I'm running stairs. So we have stairs in our river valley, and I'll do a goal of trying to get as close to 8 to 10 sets of them
Oh,
twice a week right now.
wow. Now, while you're stepping, getting up those steps, what kind of music you listening to?
Anything to block out the pain. So right now it's usually Eminem or some Tupac.
Oh, that's great choices. Yeah, absolutely. Whoops, there it is again. But yeah, those
So
are great
I
choices.
think was that 4 or 5?
Yeah, right, right. So let's say you're working with a client and one of their old habits pops back up. How can you help people with those? How do you help them get back on track?
Ooh, that's a really good one because that happens. That's very common.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know what? Once again, coming from the compassionate but also tough love approach, it's like you sit them down and you try to just remotivate them. It's like, why are we doing this right now? Right. And what habits are going to support this? And what habits that we need to minimize that aren't going to support this? And then you kind of remotivate them. Ask them, does these habits support where you want to be? Or does it send you in the opposite direction? And then from there, if they need help, I usually just break it down in more simple process so then they can start implementing and building those baby steps again.
That's great advice. Now, I want to help a couple people out there who are watching this and think maybe this isn't for me. I already mentioned snacks. Snacks are a big one for Brick. I love snacks. I probably will never stop, but I try to have protein in my snacks. What are some things you see with clients in that first month? What are common things people are struggling with that might help somebody else get motivated to give you a call and get started?
Oh, absolutely. So first month, actually first day, sitting down and pretty much doing assessments with people that I'm going to be onboarding, struggles with alcohol consumption. Like they drink their calories, right? Especially it's summertime right now. So that's like the go-to kind of social outing. So that's a huge one.
Yep.
And it's never about eliminating it completely. To anybody that is listening, it's about baby steps. Or maybe not even baby steps of slowly eliminating it, but finding the healthier alternative, right? So if you're having a Coke and rye, maybe we go to something that's a little lighter. Maybe we go to light beers. Maybe we go to something like a light cooler, less calories, right? Sleep is a big one. So people that are coming in to see me that are getting 4 or 5 hours per sleep of sleep per night. Very common across the spectrum. Yes, you can work through that. And yes, working with a coach can help you just enhance that quality of sleep, longer sleeps as well. Once again, you said nutrition is a big component. And I think right now people know a lot about nutrition. They don't know how to implement it or kind of relate it to themselves. So working with a coach is huge because it helps identify this is what you're currently eating. This is where we need to baby steps, what we need to start incorporating more of to kind of get you to where you want to be. So those are probably the 3 biggest things that I see off the get-go.
Baby steps. Baby steps. That's what people need to remember. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, can I ask a question? Let's have some fun with this.
Oh, you want to ask me a question? By all means.
Absolutely.
By all means.
Okay. All right, Brick. Well, I appreciate you having me on your podcast, but I'm going to flip the script. What is Brick's favorite snack?
Oh, how much time do we got? How much time we got?
Go. No.
All right. Right now, it really depends. So let's say I'm feeling emotional. On an emotional day, it's those Kodiak cupcakes. You know what I'm talking about? The chocolate chip muffins. I'll have one of those. I might sprinkle a little bit of chocolate chips in there just to make it extra. But that, or recently, actually I don't even know the guy's name. Is it Lemmy or Lenny? The people that make those cookies?
Yes, it's Lenny. Yep.
So not the cookie. I just recently saw pretzels. Have you seen these pretzels?
What? No, I have not.
Yeah, so they have honey mustard and then pizza. That's the 2 flavors they got. Anyways, there's about, I want to say, 300 calories and 18 grams of protein. So I thought it was okay in terms of, how it broke down. Yeah, not too bad.
Good. Yeah.
Now I understand when you hear snacks, you're probably thinking ice cream or maybe chips or maybe something a little dirty. But nah, Brick always makes sure there's protein in the snacks first. I didn't know if that was a bad thing, a good thing. I mean, I can't help myself. I have to have a little something before I go to bed, or else I'll just be up. I just can't fall asleep.
Those are great snack choices. And with shoulders like that, yeah, you're eating your protein.
I've been working out quite a bit, and learning a lot. I've been doing a lot of these podcasts with fitness coaches, and they're just getting me jacked up. I hope other people are getting jacked up from this too. But what else you got for me? What other questions you got?
Yeah. Brick the Muppet. Okay. What's Brick's favorite workout?
Easy. Do you mean workout or exercise?
Exercise.
Well, right now, and usually, always, it's bench.
Just all right. Typical male response, eh?
Yeah, that's me. I do legs. Contrary to popular belief, I have giant legs. I don't know if you saw. I'm about 9 feet tall. I posted a video the other day, but I don't like bragging. So I try to keep it to chest. I did back and buys today, but tomorrow's legs. I'll be getting legs. Did you get to the gym today?
Absolutely. Did some sumo deadlifts at 8 a.m.
You probably did as many reps as you said absolutely.
Less, actually.
Less, yeah. Probably. We said it a lot. But, yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much for being a guest on Reppin Fitness. Tell me, and tell everyone here, how can they be in touch with you online?
So thanks for having me. So to get in touch, you can either go to my website, mindbodybytemple.com, or message me on Instagram, mind.bodybytemple. I also have my Wellness by Temple page as well for business orientation.
Thanks for watching this episode of Reppin Fitness. Thank you to Taylor for joining me, and thank you to Andrew Coates for the introduction. We'll see you next episode.